welcome back to FM Story. We're approaching the end of season 1 of this Glory Hunt save. It's picked up since where we were in the middle of the season, but our aim for the season was to win one of the 2 cup competitions. Unfortunately, we went out with both of those in the last episode. We are in with a very, very good chance of finishing in the Champions League spots, though. We are currently sat in 5th position. We do have games left against PSG, who are only games away from winning the title again. And we end the season with a game against Lens, who are currently sat in 2nd position in the league. So without further ado, let's get into the action. So we're in the middle of April. We've got a game coming up against PSG. And really, it's becoming imperative that we actually pick up a result in the game. We've had 2 games since the end of the last episode. First one went really well. We hammered Angers 3-0 away from home. We were outstanding in the first half and managed the game well in the second half. We then had a home game against Lorient and we were terrible. Lost 2-0 and just a really, really bad performance. Obviously, we've got this away trip to PSG up next. And as a result of losing that game against Lorient, we went below them in the table. But with most of the other teams having played, or a couple of the other teams having played already, we have dropped down to 7th in the table, which puts us outside of the European spots. And we could do with getting a result, and hopefully PSG, having already won the title, have taken their foot off the gas. They are still in the Champions League, so hopefully they may be resting a few players now that they've got the title wrapped up, and hopefully we can push ourselves back into the European spots. But I mean, the one thing you can see that stands out in our season so far is that number of defeats. It's just far too many. And we have been pretty decent in the second half of the season, and we need another big result in this next game. So, this is the side we've picked. We do still have a few injury issues. In fact, they're actually growing. Dominic Grief didn't play the last 2 league games because he picked up an injury after the international break. Thankfully, he passed a fitness test because his replacement, Dick Camp, who played in the last game, got injured in training and during the week, so he can't play. Clinton Marta is still out and is out for the rest of the season. Diego Leite is out. So we're having to bring in Matisse de Carvalho into that back 3. He's not really a central defender. So we are struggling at the back. Hopefully we can produce a decent performance going forward, but they certainly haven't rested too many, if any, players, have they, looking at that team. And so they're obviously going with the normal 4-3-3. And we're sticking with this 3 at the back, which has worked pretty well for us. It certainly looks like we've been pinned back early on here. Reef's made a save and kept it. Clivert across to Niakate on the left. Tagliafico. Fafana gives it away. And that is not the start we wanted. Hopefully that gets confirmed as offside. The linesman's raised his flag there. It has been disallowed, but we can't afford to give the ball away in positions like that. I mean, that is very tight. A free kick for them in a shooting position. Kvaratskhelia to take it over the wall. And Grief thankfully gets a fingertip to it. A free kick for us. The fact that we keep getting the ball in our own half makes me think we can give it away. He's lumped it forward. Now a 6'6" striker can't win the ball in the air, and we've let Dembele run at us. And thankfully, Zaire Emery's dragged that wide of the far post. The one concern so far about this first half, they've got a corner there. We haven't got Endrick in the game at all. And when we've played well, he's been a big, big part of that. And Billy goes past him and thankfully hits the side netting. We are living on our luck here. Long. Again, Shorey doesn't win the header. Comes back at us. Tagliafico tidying up at the back there. He gives the ball away. We've lumped it up the field, but it's just going to come back at us again. Right, throw for us. Over Liso across the Niakate. Morton into Fafana. Finds the runner Chori. And somehow, despite anything we've seen, we've somehow managed to take the lead. This is, I mean, the first time we've actually done a couple of passes together by the looks of it. Chori with the run. No defender went with him. And he manages to beat Chevalier one-on-one. Hendrick. Chori. Morton's got it in midfield. We've given it away in our half again. Albion from the edge of the box can't get it on target. Our players seem to want them to score. I mean, that's the only thing you can kind of say with us where we're giving the ball away. Fafana into Chori. Neves wins it back. They're knocking the ball around. We managed to get everyone behind the ball there, but certainly that first half, somehow we are in front. We are very, very, very much riding our luck here. Hopefully the second half we can be a bit more secure. Right, we've sent the same team out to start the second half. We're trying not to push forward as much. Hopefully we don't. And then saying that, we give the ball away straight away. Thankfully it doesn't come to anything. Maitland-Niles with a throw. Back with Clivert. Carvalho across to Niakate. Tagliafico with space on this left-hand side. Looks to go down the line for Fafana. And it comes back to us though. Taliso over the top looking for the runner Chori. I think this is getting disallowed. But there's certainly something there for us if we make runs in behind them. Where the first goal came from. I mean, that one. Yeah. He just never got himself back on side. And had he got back on side, I don't think he would have got the ball anyway. Cracking finish, mind. They've got the ball. Oh, we could have won it back there. We've certainly got everyone behind the ball. Whether that helps us out at all here is anyone's guess. Dembele's in on the left. Squares it. And you have to say, a goal for them was definitely coming. And we just didn't get anyone. Well, in fact, we did get people goal side. Goes through a crowd of bodies and the keeper can't get anywhere near it. Morton into Hendrick. First time we've really seen him in this game. What a pass. Fortunately, Chori just couldn't get on the end of it. Oh, we've won it back though. Fafana from distance. And it's just over the top. Hendrick wins it back. Puts inside. Maitland-Niles now into Morton. Liso into Chori. Hendrick. Fafana making a burst through. He's dragged it wide of the far post. We should be back in front there. Right. Liso's won it. I did think he was going to get a penalty given against him there. Chori then loses it. It wasn't the best of passes into him, but by down the right, cross towards the back post. And thankfully, that's over the top. Right. We've got some substitutes ready to come on and to get some fresh legs on in some key areas, and mainly in the centre of the midfield. We've taken a couple of players off that were on yellow cards as well. Free kick for them. We've got a head on it. The Emery back to the edge of the box. Shot from distance, and that's a great save. We're into the last 10 minutes here, and we are managing to hang on, touch wood, as it stands at the moment. Keeper's got the ball in the last minute of the 90. Goes long. And they've won the header at the back. And it's just going to come back at us. Fabian with the run from Dembele. And we've got lucky. We're just giving them the ball back and let them pass it through us. Just gone too early. And hopefully that's the last of that. 4 minutes of injury time. Oh, they're going to come again. Hernandez at left back. Into Pacho. And by... What was that defending? How have we managed to defend so well until that point? Maitland-Niles lets him go past him, and then there's no one anywhere near Martinelli in the box. And there we are. Full time. We've lost 2-1. I mean, let's be honest. When you look at the match stats, it could have been so much worse. But we should have gone back in front when it was 1-1. That chance that Fafana missed. And that would be pretty costly as far as the European spots are concerned. We've made it to the final day of the league season, and our season has ended so badly that there's a pretty good chance that as soon as this game's over, I could be getting sacked. After the PSG game, we had a 1-1 draw at home against Auxerre. We played okay, just couldn't take any chances. We then went 3-0 up in the first half against Rennes, conceded 4 goals in the second half, and then we got hammered 3-0 away at Toulouse, which means going into the last day of the season, unless for some reason there's an extra space available in European football, we are not going to we don't have a chance of qualifying. In fact, there would need to be an extra 2 spots for us to have a chance of qualifying. And we're in 9th. Bearing in mind the aim at the start of the season was to finish in the Champions League spots, which, given where we were at the start of this episode, looked like it was a pretty good chance of that happening. Obviously, we've just collapsed towards the end of the season here. We've got a final game of the season coming up at home against Lons, who, if they win, there's a good chance they might actually finish second behind PSG. They've already guaranteed themselves Champions League football for next season. But we need 3 points to avoid probably getting sacked. And even if we don't get sacked, we're going to have to think long and hard about next season, because we've really struggled recruitment-wise this first season in terms of wage budget. We are going to almost certainly not have Hendrick in season 2. And that could be a big, big issue. It is a summer with the World Cup as well. So even if we don't get sacked, there might be some other jobs that become available, but we need to end the season as strong as we possibly can. This is the side we've picked for the last of the season. We made one change from the last game because we don't have an awful lot of other options. Moreira is coming on the left because Solch and Fofana are both nowhere near fully fit, or nowhere near fit enough really to start. And hopefully we can end the season on a high. Right, so we've got the game underway. Early on, we've had very little of the ball. This is not looking too good. Right, throw for us, Maitland-Niles. Short to Tolisso. Morton back to him. Tolisso into Hendrick. Has to run through. Maitland-Niles finds Hendrick again. Finds the back of the net. And that was very much needed. We needed to be in front in this game. We couldn't really afford to go behind, I think. The heads would have completely dropped if that had happened. We get a bit lucky with this because Hendrick runs into a challenge and then Maitland-Niles just pops it back through for him. And then from the corner of the 6-yard box, he just slides it into the bottom corner. Right, they're attacking on the left-hand side. Ball to the back post, headed clear. Tagliafico gets a challenge in, but thankfully they've dragged that wide because no one reacted to that challenge that Tagliafico made. Tagliafico on the left now, he's lost it. And they've gone back to the keeper. Now they're breaking clear down their left-hand side and we're getting numbers in the box. Oh my God. At this rate, I would be very surprised if we begin season 2 with Leon. Because once this ball gets knocked back inside to San Maximin, what is that? They've gone back to the keeper and then they pass it out again. But Morton nicks it in the midfield, finds the runner Chori into the box. And that's 2-1. And hopefully we defend this lead a bit better than we did the last one. And we've got lucky with this one because the ball's played infield and Morton just reads it, steps in, brings it forward a little. And then Chori makes the spin round the back of the defender. And then from a very similar position to where Hendrick scored the first, fires in from the corner of the 6-yard box. We've won the ball. Morton forward again. The keeper's made an absolute hash of it. Hendrick to Chori, back to Hendrick. On his left foot. Hits the woodwork. And they're able to bring it clear. And there we are. Half-time 2-1 up. But it's been a pretty even first half when you look at all the statistics. But we're in the lead and we need to try and hold on to this in the second half to have any chance of keeping the job. Right, we've made a couple of changes. half time. Lighty was just coming back from injury, so we've taken him off, and that's led to a switch in formation. Moreira's gone off, and Sulch and Fofana have come on, and we've gone to a 4-2-3-1. It didn't really work earlier on in the season, but hopefully we can keep things solid at the back. They've got a corner. And towards the near post, we've got a head on it. They've got the ball on the edge of the box. No one really went to charge a shot down range, getting the block on it. And then they've worked the ball back into the box. And then we've got another challenge in there. Still going to come back at us though. They just can't seem to get out here. And they've worked inside. And Florian Thauvin has levelled it at 2-2. And we've just ended that horrifically. Well, we made another couple of changes. Had a ball on for Tagliafico, which has seen Maitland now switch to the left, and Himber has come on instead of Chori up top. And we've got a corner, Sulch to take it. In-swinger into the near post. We've got a flick on it, and it's gone for a corner on the other side. And there we are, full time. Season ends with a 2-2 draw. We're going to end down in 9th position in the league. Given where we were at the end of the last episode, that is a disastrous collapse over the finish line. And given where we were in the last episode, it's still in the cup competitions at one point. Come away with being dismally knocked out of those cup competitions, and then to not even qualify for Europe. That's a dreadful end to season 1. And there we have it. That point on the last day of the season wasn't enough to keep the job. Sacked at the end of season 1 in this Glory Hunt, and not the best start you could possibly have. And now we have to see what other jobs become available during the summer. So yeah, not the best of first seasons, and we were on track to qualify for the Champions League at the start of this episode, and then it's just gone horrendously wrong. Since then, just abysmal finish to the season, and there might be a season 2 depending on whether we get a job or not. If there is, we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. See you then.